Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Toby Smith here with the next big thing. And there's no question the next big thing is 4G. I mean, you cannot open a newspaper, watch a television, and not get inundated with 4G ads from Verizon and AT&T and T-Mobile and everything else in the United States. Well, let me tell you, 4G outside the United States is really coming from one company, and that is Chinatel Group. We've talked about in many of our segments about how they're building these 4G networks, how they're deploying, and how they're marketing them. I want to focus right now on the revenue streams because, you know, these guys are engineer geek types, and so and number two, they're very conservative when it comes to their forecasts. At NBT Equities Research, we've taken the forecasts from Chinatel and we've tried to, imagine what's going to be happening with some additional revenue streams. So let's talk about the revenue model here. Your revenue model, George, is this base that you purchase. A person buys 30 days of 4G connectivity, wireless access for, let's call it $10 a month. When the person's burned through that, then they recharge. You have a sense of how many people burn through their, or what percentage of people will burn through their first allocation and need to reload in a month?
I think they'll reload prior to the end of the month.
End of the month, okay. And, do you have a sense of what percentage, if 1,000 people join the network from the beginning of the month, how many people will make it, do you think, or what percentage will make it through the month before they got to recharge?
Well, obviously the model is every 30 days they recharge. If you look at what we've pro-formed out, but we anticipate it to be sooner than that. We'll know actual numbers this summer when the networks are live. But let's say they finish, they go through their allotment in 10 days, then they need to pay another $10 and they'll be recharged for another 30 days.
All right, and the second part of this sort of low-hanging fruit strategy here is that once you've recharged, so you've done the initial charge, now you've done your recharge, and we're going to come up with a model based on some of the other countries out there. Actually, in Sweden, believe it or not, has a 4G network right now that our numbers show that on the prepaid side, that they get about a 20% reload factor just on their customers. So I'm figuring the Chinese are more because they're going to be on your iPad. So now you have your pad. I've got my reload. The third part of this is, what if you're going to be selling packages now. The original idea was that you were going to be selling unlimited content, and the world has changed because of video. If you sold unlimited, you could have 5 guys suck down on your bandwidth in one city. So you're going to be selling packages, right? You get the basic package. What are the other packages that you're going to offer to your customers?
Oh, you have media packages, social networking packages, business packages. For instance, let's take a business package which focuses more on corporate office use. That package is anywhere from $50 to $100 a month in ARPU, which we think is still very fair for a business user with 8 employees. Individual home package with CPE, $20 to $40 for those 8 devices, which include IPTV, movies, social networking, etc., applications, content distribution. Those are all parts of the packaging that we're going right now.
And if I at my home, if I get the home package, if I want to download, Yahoo, they have China has the equivalent of everything in the United States. They don't have a YouTube, but they have their own YouTube. They have, instead of Facebook, you have Ren. They all have their various services. Is that the same type of load and reload model at home?
Yeah, but at the end of the day, remember, we control our own fiber. It's our last mile wirelessly. It's our network. So if you want to provide services on our network, think of it like a VPN.
A virtual private network, you mean?
Yeah, you're going to have to pay to play in order to establish some type of revenue model off your applications. Let's say if you're an applications developer or a search engine, you're going to want access to our customer base, and for that access, it's another revenue model for us as a company.
All right, so because that's an excellent segue, George, what I'm trying to get at, which is, all right, so we're as a revenue model, we start with the base, then we have the recharge, then we have the custom packages. Then a fourth level of revenue will be essentially an access fee. For instance, if I'm Baidu or I'm Sino, those are the two search engines, main one. Baidu or Sino is going to pay a fee to be the primary search engine, just like RIM, BlackBerry has just signed with Microsoft. Microsoft paid a fee to be the search engine. You're going to have the key application services. They will pay a fee for access onto your network, correct? Okay. Okay, and then the fifth level we haven't really talked about is in China is the government, the schools, universities, the various agencies. How do you imagine that those type of contracts are going to work?
Well, as Colin created really that foundation where you have corporate use and government use as the anchor tenants of your network. And in this regard, in China, the government ministries are your low-hanging fruit with regard to your anchor tenant of a network. That is providing connectivity and providing internet access and video surveillance, monitoring for these organizations is part of our revenue source.
All right, so Colin, are you going to, will Golden Bridge in China then have its own sales force that calls specifically on this, the agent? And are these contracts, in other words, are these monthly contracts? Because I know some of the ones you've done with Chinacom have been like 1 year, 2 year type contracts.
Yes, they will be for like a 1 year contract. In China, even for I would say one of the biggest revenue generating items would be things like real-time advertisements. And with a 1 year contract, we even have explored into softwares and infrastructure to provide real-time advertisements to corporate clients or even municipals over the network that we're building with Golden Bridge. Yeah, we're working that out right now internally with our marketing department to see various models being done right now in Taiwan and even other markets, and come up with the best possible pricing package for our network this summer.
So really what we're talking about here is that as originally described, the $8 to $12 a month sort of basic fee is one of really 7 or 8 different revenue sources from these networks. There's an advertising component to it. There's a pay-to-play, a carriage fee. There's also, voice over internet protocol we'll get into a little bit later. But the idea is that once you have the fiber in the ground and once you have the last mile access via wireless, you have a closed loop network. And in that network, just as the United States, we have the Magic Jack here in the United States, right? For $20, you can get unlimited local long-distance calling. In China and in Peru and in Central Europe, mark my words, there's going to be a Magic Jack service for voice. That's going to come, I betcha, from Chinatel Group. And so you have to think about the revenue from these networks, not as just prepaid. You have to think about the 7 to 8 different revenue. We're modeling that now at NBT Equities because I think the revenue opportunity in China, Peru, and other areas is about 2 to 3 times the conservative numbers that you engineer geeks have given us. And I think as we look at it as a business opportunity, there's going to be more profit in selling these additional revenues and additional services than the core product itself. That, my friends, turns into a $1 billion opportunity. This is Next Big Thing. I'm Toby Smith. We're Chinatel Group. We're coming right back.